Langford Cunningham is really an inspiration.
Mr. Langford Cunningham.
Blind City, the podcast. It's headed up by a guy named Langford Cunningham. He had to lose his sight to find his vision.
Welcome to Blind City, the podcast. I'm your host, Langford Cunningham. We are the therapy for these streets.
Everybody got their ops, everybody got their enemies, but for real, now you don't even got to worry about your enemy. It be, the closest motherfuckers around you.
No, this is real. We getting shot by police. We getting stereotyped.
We didn't get a proper investigation. Well, definitely, I think it's a bunch of bullshit.
Your car got shot up, right?
Yeah, he struck the bullet.
Yeah, you from the hood.
They just passed a law where you can give a kid a gun without the parents' permission.
Wait a minute. They can do what? We got people in power that's not really for the people. They think the people work for them. You work for the people.
We got to talk about the disparities in our community.
North side look like a bomb didn't hit it. Got a lot of the females rapping today. Okay? They twerking. They're doing prostitution on records, leading little girls into the strip clubs. That leads into human trafficking. We're going to get into this.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let's flip tables like Jesus.
Yeah.
This is the real problem.
Mm-hmm.
They don't promote Taylor Swift like that.
Right.
Taylor Swift can sing about how beautiful life is.
Mm.
She can sing about Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Sells billions of records.
Yeah.
But our black women got to get prostituted in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's evident that he cares. What do you care about? Welcome to the Rock Newman Show. The Rock Newman Show. The Minister of Wellness Ministries and Rock Newman Show 2.0 return to the nation's capital Saturday, September 16th, 2023, Union Temple Baptist Church. This is your final opportunity to join us in person before the official start of the viral outbreak season. To get empowered to quickly lose weight, reverse disease so you can be 100% confident your immune system is ready for anything that may come. Come hungry, because delicious plant-based soul food and desserts will be available by DC's own Dr. Ruby Lathan. Space is extremely limited, so RSVP as soon as possible at theministerofwellness.com under Health Seminars. That's theministerofwellness.com under Health Seminars. Please call or text 888-847-8026. That's 888-847-8026.
Greetings. Thank you once again for tuning in and joining us here at the Rock Newman Show 2.0. I always feel honored that you all would take time out of your day to tune in to see and to hear what we have to say from our little slice of the world here at 1918 Martin Luther King Avenue. There is a joy I have about doing this show from 1918 Martin Luther King Avenue. It's WEAC Radio. My hat goes off to Kimon Freeman and Alex Lawson, who were the founders of this facility. And we are very appreciative to be able to have access here to do what we do. Today, we have a guest that I've been aware of for a bit that is doing the work. He is in his community of St. Louis, Missouri, and he has established, in spite of some challenges, he has established what is called the Blind City podcast. Mr. Langford Cunningham, thank you for coming to be with us today at the Rock Newman Show 2.0.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's an honor being in the presence of a legend, man. Thank you.
Okay, I'll take that. So for my viewing audience who may not have heard of you, what I'd like to do is do a bit of a biography, a Langford Cunningham biography in terms of where you grew up and what your early influences were. Can you share that with us?
Yes. Well, I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, to two parents, Langford Cunningham Sr. and Betty Cunningham. My mother was from a small town called Venice, Illinois. It's right next to East St. Louis, Illinois. Mm-hmm. And my father was from St. Louis. He went to Vashon High School. So they dated, and then I came along. Through those times, my mother and father had difficulties with staying together in the community, and they divorced. Yeah. And I went back and forth. I was
Between
with my father.
The mom and
yes,
the dad?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the difficulty with that is sometimes when, what we're dealing with today with broken relationships, sometimes the kids get weaponized between the parents.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and once that happened, I started falling to the streets of more of the gangs in St. Louis around that time.
Let me ask you, you did that after sort of the struggle between your mom and dad and going back and forth. What's your very earliest memory of the street and with gangs? What's your early memory? What age was that?
I was about a freshman in high school.
Okay, so 13, 14 years old.
Correct.
Right.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Right.
And now when I say gangs, I wasn't joining a gang to be part of the gang. Mm-hmm. At that time in my life, I was staying over friends' houses. I was going back and forth, trying to figure out, who I wanted to be, because, my father and I had a rocky relationship.
Sure.
Loved my mother to death. It's just as well as my father, but me and my mother had kind of rocky relationship as well. So I went to the streets looking for guidance from the strangers in the community. Mm-hmm. And I was a DJ back then. I was a hip hop DJ. I loved to DJ. And it was a guy named Biz from Inglewood, California. They had just integrated into St. Louis, Missouri, and they were working at chop shops. Okay. Chop shops is where they take stolen cars, break them down, and remake them and sell them in the streets.
Let me ask you a quick question. Yes. Just that kind of as an aside almost. Have you ever seen the interview that Akon did, the musician Akon, about working with stolen cars and owning chop shops and the money he made from that? You ever seen that?
Yes, yes.
I found that absolutely fascinating.
Right.
Yeah. He went through the whole process of how he would go into a Department of Motor Vehicles and find the ladies in there who might not have had good self-esteem.
Right.
And just, man, that was a system he worked before he sort of came out of the street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So some of the guys you were hanging with were working at the chop shops?
Yeah, they were the Cali Blood gang out of Inglewood. They were the Inglewood Bloods. But I was a DJ and I met him. And he kind of took me under his wing, not to bring me into the gang, but he believed in me as a DJ because he had sisters that could rap. Right.
What did DJing do for you?
It created self-esteem. It was my runaway spot where I felt I could get away between my mother and father. It was to get away from stress. It made me feel like I was in control of something. Yeah.
Now, during that time of your DJing, that's now still the 14, 15-year-old kind of age?
Correct.
Okay. So what during that time, who during that time had the greatest influence on you in terms of musicians and the lyrics that they were bringing?
Oh, man, I think at that time it was Run DMC. Yes, Run DMC. The early years of rap when it was first coming out to America, Heavy D, Houdini, Yes, then LL Cool J was a real big influence. Yes.
Sugar Hill Gang was a little earlier.
They were a little earlier. Oh, Melly Mel, The Message. Yeah, that was really motivating for me. Matter of fact, when I heard The Message, that's what I wanted to do in life. He inspired through the music. That's what I wanted to do as a DJ with local rap groups in St. Louis, is put out a political message. Use the message as an influence to empower a community.
Do you remember any of the lyrics from The Message?
Oh, man. Yes, I do. You got me on the spot.
Don't worry about it.
People pissing on the elevators like they just don't care. Broken glass everywhere.
Yeah. That's a lack of hope right there.
There you go.
That's talking about a lack of hope. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm trying to figure someone came with a very uplifting lyrics after that. With a very not Tupac's piece. I'm going to try to remember it, because someone came with something about lifting up, about advancement, about not...
Public Enemy? They came later.
Yeah, do you remember what it was, what their message? Well,
at that time, I think Melly Mel was the first to come out with the message. I think when Run DMC came after that in the 80s and Heavy D, that was more of just showing skills on the mic, party music, and Run DMC was the first group to ever go platinum, you know, and the first to get a sneaker deal with My Adidas. So they established the culture. Houdini then came along for us with the musical, with the electronics being used in the music, taking the back production of hip hop to the next level, where Roger Troutman started with Zap, talking through the computer. And then Houdini duplicated that sound in their music with Freaks Come Out at Night. They used a lot of that. But a lot of those early rap groups, you had the message. Houdini had a song called One Love, talking about beware what type of females you're dating out there, learn how to respect love once you get it, hold on to it. And those messages we have lost totally today, because there's no message in the music at all.
That leads me into, I want to get back to you and your biography, but that leads me right straight to something that I gnash my teeth about, and that is how the industry now, the white-dominated, controlled empires, corporations, have now usurped those kind of messages. And it seems as if the majority of what we hear is gangster rap and beyond. And I just your thoughts about that.
Well, the difference between now and when I grew up in the 80s and 90s, we had a balance in music. Of course, we had the nasty rap, we had the gangster rap, but we also had Public Enemy. We had X-Clan, we had Poor Righteous Teachers, we had Eric B. and Rakim. A lot of Nation of Islam was influenced through our music. Telling the people to be proud, like James Brown did back in the 50s and 60s. I'm proud to be black. Marvin Gaye said, what's going on? Back then there was a balance, and I'm cool with that. We need a balance. The problem I have now with the music, there's no balance. And now the prisons, the private prisoners have invested in the record labels to promote this crap in our community.
Crap in the community, which is antisocial. At the end of the day, it's us killing, it's folks in the community killing themselves or practicing behavior that ultimately leads them to jail or to the graveyard.
Cemetery. And they're doing a good job. Let me ask you this, Rock. We got a lot of the females rapping today, okay? They twerking, they're doing prostitution on records, leading little girls into the strip clubs. That leads into human trafficking. We're gonna get into this. Matter of fact, let's flip tables like Jesus. This is the real problem. They don't promote Taylor Swift like that. Taylor Swift can sing about how beautiful life is. She can sing about Mickey Mouse, sells billions of records. But our black women got to get prostituted in the industry. You cannot speak on knowledge. You can't speak on being a queen like Queen Latifah. You got to talk about shaking your ass and how much it costs to have sex with you to get that Birkin bag.
Yeah.
And that's what's programming our community with the young girls, and it's getting saturated into the broken relationships between the black man and the black woman. Because right now, the black woman is not even acknowledging the black man in the community because they're going through this feminism. Woo.
You're blowing it up. You're blowing it up. Let me put it in reverse. So let's still come back, because I really want folks who don't know you to know you, because you're doing something special with the Blind City podcast. You are doing something needed in our community, and I want them to know you. I want them to be aware of you're coming from, where you came from and where you are now. And let me just say, in the event that you haven't figured out yet, brother is legally blind, wasn't born that way, lost his sight a little over 4 years ago, but this brother in no way allowed that what is called by some a handicap to handicap him. So, okay, you come through that period where you sort of find in the streets, you're talking to some of the folks that are in the gangs. You come through that in your late teens, early 20s. Tell me about that time frame.
Okay. Let me go back and I'm gonna speed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where I battled with self-esteem as a young black child. And like I say, my mother and father did a great job. Mm-hmm. They just couldn't get along for whatever reasons, okay? Yeah. But it affected me. Mm-hmm. So when I went to elementary school, Catholic school, it was a teacher there. And I'm not gonna say her name, I'm sure she probably passed away. But she had a class where she set kids in rows of their grades, what they got in class. So if you got an A, you sat in the A row. Uh-huh. You had a B, you sat in the B row. Mm-hmm. You had a C, you sat in the C row, then you got D and F. I was always in the D row. Okay. Then we had kids in the F row. Yeah. Now, you do that in school today, they taking you to jail. Yeah. But they did this in Catholic school. Yeah. And what that did to me, because math wasn't one of my strongest subjects. Yeah. But it deteriorated me in learning math, because I was always stuck in the D row and kids were laughing at me. Mm-hmm. So that kind of deterred my self-esteem. Yeah. So even with my mother and father going through divorce, I still was searching for something. Yeah. Because when I go with my father, he talked about my mother, what she did to him. Yeah. Now, my mother never did that in return. Yeah. My mother was she was a school teacher in Venice, Illinois. She helped educate a lot of kids out of that community. Yeah. But I still wasn't receiving that love that I wanted from my father. Yeah. My mother was there. Yeah. But my mother was kind of playing the father role, and that was kind of goofy to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So as I traveled through my life, when I met Biz from the Inglewood Blood Gang, may he rest in peace, he was the first one to believe in me. Mm-hmm. So if you wonder why a lot of kids are joining gangs throughout our communities, it's because of one or two things. Number one, dysfunctional family. Yeah. Number two, they never found love within their family. Mm-hmm. So when you got a kid, he's searching for love in the streets. The women are searching for love in the streets. She never had a father, where does she go to find a father? Right. She go to the streets. Yeah. So when I went under his wing, he never influenced me to join the Blood Gang. Matter of fact, he told me, I just want you to DJ, get you on your feet, help my sisters, but you don't want to be part of this life. Yeah. He told me that. So I don't want people thinking just because people in gangs, they all bad-hearted. Yeah. No, they not. They just dealt with different circumstances. Right. But he got murdered. Wow. He got murdered. But I did end up DJing.
Let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
Because when you say he got murdered. Yeah. So someone who you have found special in your life, because when you say someone believed in you, that's a knowledge. That's a knowledge you have. This person believes in me. And I think I'm hearing you say that was something that you didn't have. You know, the dysfunction in the family, you didn't have that. So now you got somebody that's making you feel a worthiness, encouraging you to not get in that life. And then he got murdered. How did you feel when you heard that news?
I was sick in my stomach because that's the confidence he had in me. I was looking for that through my father.
Yeah.
But my father was old school. He was a pipe fitter. He wanted me to go to school. He didn't believe in the music.
Yeah.
He didn't believe in me with the music. Right. My mother was kind of 50-50, do the music, but still go to school, try to better yourself, which I understand, okay?
Right.
But this man came to me like, if that's what you want to do, I'm going to put the money behind you. But I wanted my parents to put the money behind me.
Yeah.
So, yes, it devastated me.
I can only
imagine. It devastated me. But it also made me realize, because he got murdered in a crap game. They shot him in the back of the head. He got set up. Whew. Same thing going on now with the rappers in the community and all this killing. Yeah. They all getting set up. Their best friends are shooting them. Yeah. But that right there let me know I want to make a difference in my community, and I needed to find what I want to do. If it just wasn't with being a DJ or becoming a street poet like Gil Scott-Heron, I had to find a way. I want to influence my community, and the speed alone, as I got older, I started making better decisions. Yeah. And then I went back to school at 42 years old. At 42 years old.
You're a young looking brother. You don't even look like you 42 now.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Thank you. And got my degree in criminal justice. Yeah. I started off as a drug counselor at a medium security prison in East St. Louis, Illinois. And I worked with a lot of great men that were locked up and that had potential. Yeah. But I really wanted to work with our youth because a lot of the prisoners that came through the system, they went up for 20, 35 years.
Let me ask you something. Having spent that kind of time in the belly of the beast, what would you say is a common thread amongst all the guys that find themselves in prison?
Family dysfunction. It goes back to the family in the black community. It has been devastated, destroyed.
Yeah.
And it left a lot of people out there making bad choices in their life because they really didn't have the support to make the good choices. Yeah. And a lot of them did learn through their mistakes, but a lot of them still keep hitting that same wall over and over again. They keep crashing out.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you go to prison, you get institutionalized.
Yeah. 3 hots and a cot.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You say dysfunction. And oftentimes buried in dysfunction is a lack of hope for someone whose mind is not fully formed yet. And it makes me think about a time there's a place here in the area called Blue Plains, and it's where young kids go, whether it's reform school or jail of sorts, but for youngsters as young as 8, 9, 10, up to I think it was 16 years old. And I was asked to come give a speech. And, I consider myself being able to connect with audiences, being able to read audiences and connect with them and try to give the best message I can of inspiration. And I'm somebody that, by and large, has a positive attitude. I always say, one of the books I read when I was 10 years old was Sammy Davis's biography, and it's called Yes, I Can. And I just kind of believed that, like, yes, I can. Whatever it is, whatever it is, yes, I can do it. So I went there, man, and I gave this speech. And I'll fast forward and say, and when I left and got in my car, that was one of the most depressing rides of my life. It took me about a half hour to get home. And I tried to examine my depression, why I was so depressed. And it was because I saw hopelessness. And I did not connect with them. I did not get through to them. I talked to a couple of them afterwards, and it was like, they're not expecting to live beyond 21 years old. There was that kind of hopelessness. So when you talk about how the family is fractured, you know, that's just not something, the impact of that, the influence, the trouble that creates for generations coming up is just beyond desperate, man. And, you know, I like the fact that you recognize that. So now you're in the institution. You spent 18 years as a correction counselor officer?
No, I stayed about 3 years as a drug counselor, and then I got transferred to juvenile detention. Now let me explain.
Yeah.
When I was in there with the men, they had a lot of life skill groups going on in the prisons for the inmates. So I had a friend that worked over in St. Louis County, juvenile detention. And I said, yeah, man, I'm over there teaching groups. You know, I taught the drug class, you know, finding out how many prisoners were on drugs at that time when they were in the streets.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much 65% of them were in prison for over drug usage. And I said, do you have life skills for the juveniles that's coming in detention over there?
Yeah.
He's like, no, brother. And I'm like, wait a minute. You got the lesson plans for the grown men, but the young kids, 13 and 12, coming in juvenile detention, you don't have no lesson plans for them?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, no, brother. So I said, are they hiring? He said, yeah. So I went and filled out the application, and they hired me. Now, my goal was, when I came through the doors, I went to the supervisor and asked him, can I start doing groups with the kids? He was like, yeah, sure, Cunningham. Yeah. I said, well, if I'm successful with it, can we implement some of these lesson plans? Because I want to prevent the pipeline to prison.
Yeah.
You're just locking these kids up, and they going right back out doing the same damn thing over and over again. So you don't even have a system that's preparing them to be successful after they get locked up.
Right.
So she gave me the blessings.
Okay.
And I went in there and started doing lesson plans for St. Louis County Juvenile Detention. And the kids took on to it. I did groups on suicide. I did groups on how to talk to the judge when you go in front of them. Some of them go in front of the judge, don't even know how to talk. They talking to the judge like they talk to their homies on the street.
Right.
What up, cuz? You can't tell that to the judge.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea.
Exactly. But these are programs that need to be implemented in these juvenile detentions throughout America, because some of them are still running the old institutions like they in the 60s. They just locking these kids up, and they're not teaching them nothing because they come from broken families already.
Yeah.
So they already broken when they coming in there, and then you just throwing them in the cell, have them watch TV all day, put them back in the cell. They go right back out stealing cars, robbing people, and by the time they 16, they kill somebody, and you certify them.
Yeah, and that's the U.S. injustice system.
There you go.
Yeah.
United Snakes of America.
Yeah. Okay, so you do these programs. Did you feel, or were you aware of making a difference in some of their lives?
It took a while.
Okay.
Because a lot of the kids, you have to gain their trust. A lot of them went through in juvenile detention. A lot of, you know, the biggest problem I had when I was in juvenile detention, Rock?
Tell me, because I'm going to ask you the challenge, but you tell me now.
It wasn't with the kids, it was with the staff. Just like in these police departments.
Yeah.
Hey, you got some great police out there. They follow protocol, they do their job. I don't have a problem with that. But we got people in our criminal justice system that doesn't follow protocol. And I witness it. They'll push the kid in the cell, kid don't do his chores, he'll say something to the kid come back, cuss him out. He said, okay. Kid comes out, take a shower, put on his clothes, open the cell for him. One of the staff members go in there and beat the kid's ass.
Yeah.
The cameras are outside the cell. They don't have cameras in the cell. So they're outside in the middle of the way the cell was set up. The cameras were just, you could see them once they come out the cell. They didn't have cameras in the cell. So some certain staff members would use that to their advantage and beat the kid down. So I go report it because the kids trusted me. I come back in. Some staff got mad at me because every time I came to work, the kids were excited to see me.
Yeah.
Certain staff came to work, and this is how I picked up on some things were going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Why he working? Yeah. I'd be like, damn, why y'all, what you mean, why he working?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what he be doing to us, see? Mm-hmm. I said, well, y'all need to write it up. Y'all need to complain.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to snitch. Snitch?
Yeah.
No, you snitch.
Yeah.
You got rights while you locked up. Yeah. Now, you see how the streets affect the kids with the no snitching?
Sure.
But then when they come into an institution where they don't follow protocol, they still don't want to snitch and they getting their ass whooped.
Yeah.
You know what psychological damage that does to the kid when he go back out in the streets?
Yeah.
He grabbing the gun. He grabbing the stick. He shoot anybody now.
Mm-hmm.
People don't see this damage, what's going on in these institutions. Not just with the police departments, it's in the juvenile detentions across America. And I reported them, and then somehow, Rock, my reports got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. My reaction to that is because, lately, I think I did an interview recently with Neely Fuller. And, he's an authority on white supremacy and the system that controls all of this. And so at the end of the day, man, what you're talking about is part of a system that was never designed for our advancement or upliftment, for sure. So, okay, you're there, you're instituting those kind of programs, trying to make a difference. You're seeing firsthand what people to aren't aware of, really. So then you said you did that for 3 or 4 years.
Well, I was a drug counselor when I was working with the grown men in prison. Then I got the transfer. I got the job in St. Louis County. Yeah. And I left the prison because I really wanted to work with the youth.
Sure.
That was my goal. Nothing I can do with a grown man.
Right.
You got 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
So my goal was now I got to shift it and make a pivot and go work with the youth because I can prevent a 13, 14. I got a better chance trying to change him than a 40, 50-year-old man that been locked up.
Sure enough. I feel you. Now, did you stay in that position until you lost your sight?
Yes, I did. Juvenile detention,
okay.
Yes.
Now, do you talk about what happened to cause you to lose your sight?
You ready for it?
Yes.
Here we go. So I'm dealing with that trauma in St. Louis County Juvenile Detention. So now staff start turning against me. So they label me as a snitch because I'm trying to protect the kids. Mm-hmm. Now, this is what goes on in some of these workplaces, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
So just to be clear for the audience, what you're saying is those people that you were working with in the institution, you are putting the interests of the kids first and foremost. And when somebody did something wrong, was jacking them up or whatever, you were like, hey, I ain't part of this code of silence for this abuse that you all perpetrated. And so then they started come after you.
There you go.
Okay.
Now, remind you, this probably going on in the police departments too.
Yeah,
because sometimes the crookedness and the evilness outweighs the people that's positive.
Yeah.
And now the threats become to you of losing your job. Yeah. Because you got supervisors and people that's tied into these cliques.
Okay.
So I'm going home now, right?
Yeah.
I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I'm drinking.
Uh-huh.
I'm going out to strip clubs now. Uh-huh. I'm frustrated. Mm-hmm. I'm broken again, Rock. Mm-hmm. Just like I started between my mother and father now. Mm-hmm. Who can I trust?
Yeah.
My man get murdered.
Yeah.
He believed in me. Mm. Then I find myself through that transition after he got murdered. If it wasn't from Elijah Muhammad message to the black man and Francis Cress Welsing, ISIS papers, I would have never went back to school. Mm-hmm. It was those books that motivated me to get me to those kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Behold a Pale Horse by Bill Cooper.
Yeah.
If people haven't read that book, you need to read it.
Yeah.
But those 3 books changed my life after my friend got murdered in the Bloods. Yeah. That helped me progress to avoid the booby traps in the hood.
Yeah, what a testament to all 3.
Where I wanted to make a difference.
Yeah, yeah. People run around sometimes. Man, I heard a prominent black woman in this community talk about what a wacko and how crazy Francis Cress Welsey was. I was like, what disrespect. And you know what you just did, man? What you just did, and obviously she had that impact on you in reading her, and her work that she shared had that impact on you. It had it on others. And she would be someone that character assassination would be the enemies, the oppressors, one of their tools to make it her sound less than real, less than legitimate. But she had that impact on you, so we know she had it on others. So, okay, so you come through that period. Now you are feeling a sense of loss. You're feeling a sense of hopelessness. You're hurting. You're hurting.
Just like when my mother and father divorced, brother.
And now you're medicating with the bottle or other substances.
I'm drinking. I'm going to the strip clubs. Now I'm becoming a womanizer.
Yeah.
I feel like people not loyal to me. I'm not going to be loyal to nobody. I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to look out for me.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I was killing myself.
Yeah.
And then I woke up one morning. My eyes were bloodshot red. I thought it was from the liquor.
Right.
I go to work. You know, kids don't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Mr. C, that's what they called me in juvenile detention. Why your eyes bloodshot red? You getting high? You smoking that weed, that chronic?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I don't smoke. No. But what's wrong with your eyes?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, damn, I thought either something got in my eye or maybe it's from all the beers I was drinking.
Yeah.
I said, well, whatever it is, I need to stop and I need to go get it checked out.
Yeah.
So the next day, I took a sick day. And I went into one of those little eye clinics in the strip malls in the hood. And I went in there. The lady set me down in a chair. The doctor came out. He said, well, let me look at your eyes, Mr. Cunningham.
Yeah.
He looked at my eyes and he scooped the seat back. Anytime a doctor scoots the seat back,
that's a sign.
put on your seatbelt.
Yeah.
He said, Mr. Cunningham, anybody in your family got glaucoma? I said, damn.
This was at what age? How old were you?
I was 37.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, my father had it. He said, oh, what happened to him? I said, he went blind before he died.
Yeah.
He said, oh. He said, you ever had your eyes checked? I said, no, I'm getting them checked now. He said, both your eye pressure is up to 45. Now, normal eye pressure is 15 and between 12 and 15.
Wow.
So he said, we have to get you to the doctor. You need surgery.
Oh, boy.
When he said that to me, the room felt like it turned my chair upside down and it started spinning around.
Yeah.
After that day, Rock, I went through 32 surgeries.
Oh, my God.
And they couldn't save my sight.
Oh, man.
Now, I want people to listen to me very clear. Because what I'm about to say, if you got kids in the room, you might want to send them out and talk to them after you hear what I'm finna tell you. So, I gotta find myself. The doctor comes and say, Cunningham, we can't do no more surgeries. You're blind.
My Lord.
I'm blind? Man, I've been seeing for 39, 40 years, and now I'm blind. I felt like the room turned upside down again. I'm spinning around.
Yeah.
So now, my mother picks me up, takes me back to my nice townhouse in the suburbs, because life was going great for me. I was making good money. I was taking care of myself. I was buying the cars, all the materialism that young black men want. They get the women. I was doing all that. I wasn't perfect. I want people to understand that.
Yeah.
I wasn't perfect. Yes, I worked with the kids, but I still had my own demons.
Okay.
So she took me back to my condo and had my cars parked in the front. The worst feeling I ever had, I couldn't see them cars no more.
Oh, man.
I couldn't see them rims, all that what we worship in the rap video that got the women. I couldn't see that no more. Then she took me into my house. How I fixed it up, I can't see nothing. Just like right now, I'm sitting at this table. I can't see you, I can't see the cameras, but I hear you.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear nothing but my echo in the house.
Yeah.
Now, when my mother and family members came over to show their support, Everything's gonna be all right. You gotta work through it. Yeah, all the cheerleading sounds good until everybody's gone. Now you gotta fight with the devil on one side and God on the other side of your shoulder.
Yeah.
Now I'm facing the fear. I can't see nothing. I'm by myself. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I heard a voice. Kill yourself. I heard it again. What woman gonna like a blind man? Who's gonna respect a blind man? You can't even go back to work now.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, yes, once I went blind, St. Louis County told me, we can't have you come back, Mr. Cunningham. We're sorry. Because if you come back, you'll be a hazard if something happened to you. Basically, they didn't want to put me back in position. If something happened to me, that's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
I understand, Rob. But that was the job I love, working with them kids.
And you're having an impact.
Now I'm really depressed now, Rob.
Yeah.
Now I'm going back between when my mama and daddy left again.
Yeah.
I'm feeling lonely.
Yeah.
My best friend that got killed from the Bloods.
Yeah.
They believed in me.
Yeah.
Now the cars, the materialism, all the clothes I bought, Rob, I can't see them no more. Now I'm like, I have nothing. That's how fragile my mindset was. So I tried killing myself, Rob.
Did you really?
Here we go. I tried tying a belt buckle around my throat and hang it to the vent above my shower. And I said, I'm gonna jump off the tub and just hang myself. It was a thin one of them dress belt buckles, like when you wearing a pair of slacks.
Yeah.
I jumped off, bam, the vent came off, the belt broke. Now I'm frustrated. I'm in the house by myself.
God damn it, I can't even kill myself. These things are so
And I'm cursing God.
Yeah.
I'm flipping out. I'm kicking over stuff. I said, okay, I got my pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a Glock. Yeah. I'm finna put it in my mouth. I checked, make sure the bullets was in the gun. I felt them.
Yeah.
Put it back in, put the gun in my mouth. Pulled the trigger one time. Nothing happened. Pulled the trigger again. Nothing happened. I know I got bullets in the gun.
Yeah.
I pulled the trigger again. Nothing happened. Frustrated. I throw the gun against the wall.
Yeah.
Bam! The gun went off.
Yeah.
I said, what? Now I'm really mad. What's going on? I'm cursing God. I'm just cursing God. I said, I know what I got to do. I know this will work. I call my partner down north side St. Louis. They sell all the drugs.
Yeah.
Bring me some ecstasy pills to me. I overdose. I can't mess up on that.
Yeah.
I did a voice dial on the phone. Blah, blah, blah. Send me, just bring, man, you sure you want to do it? Man, bring me the pills.
Yeah.
Boom, hang up the phone.
Yeah.
Hour go by. I'm sweating. Yeah. I'm still cussing God out, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's answering the phone. I'm still waiting. Then all of a sudden, my phone rings.
Yeah.
I get excited. I hit it. Dude. I say, yeah, you here? He said, who is this? I said, who is you? He said, are you waiting for somebody? It was a white man. I said, man, who is you asking me all these questions? Well, we got a friend of yours in handcuffs. A friend of mine in handcuffs? Who you got in handcuffs? Are you waiting for somebody, sir? I said, man, who are you asking me all these questions?
Yeah.
He said, well, whoever you waiting, we got him in handcuffs and we found drug paraphernalia in the car. I stepped on the phone and broke it. And I fell out on the floor, butt naked, and started crying. And gave my life to God. Gave my life to God. And during that process, I sought therapy, getting my life back together piece by piece. And then God gave me a vision. He said, since you believe, since I had to take you through that, to let you know that I do exist, this is what I'm giving you. You will start a podcast called Blind City. And what this is going to do is going to be the instrument to empower a community. Yes, you are blind, but you are going to empower a community that has been blinded for 400 some years through crime, racism, and poverty.
Whew. What a powerful testimony, brother. I want you to hold that cane with your left hand. Hold that cane with your left hand. And reach over here with your right hand, because I want to give you a high five. You can't see it, but I'm going to find you, brother.
Thank you, bro.
Man, that's a powerful testimony. That's one of the most powerful testimonies that ever been done at this table right here. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you for going there. Now, you said, God said, I'm going to give you a vision.
And speaking of that, my motto is I had to lose my sight to find my vision.
Yeah. You hear that, folks? You hear that? I had to lose my sight to find my vision. And in some of our pre-conversations and doing a little bit of research, you say, find my vision. You found the vision, and part of that vision, and we want to get into this, is some of the things that are near and dear to your heart and how you're trying to help the community and to help the world, is to find girls and boys that are victims of sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
Well, yes, sir. That was another mission from God. Because when I started the podcast 5 years ago, and let me say this, when I started the podcast, people, my intentions was never to be a star or to do a podcast this long. It was keeping me alive also. God used it as therapy for me as also.
Giving you a purpose.
Because I couldn't work with the kids no more.
Yeah.
But I still had the gift to help people and the experience. Because I went through the prison. I went through the juvenile detention. I went through my own personal ups and downs in the community.
Yeah.
I had the knowledge now.
Yeah.
So when I started doing it, Rock, it was just really, to empower a community and also to keep me alive. Yeah. I just wasn't sitting in the house all day. Idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Sure.
But as we progress with it, people start hearing about it and coming on to the show in St. Louis. And then I start getting the mayors and the congresswoman. Then local celebrities start coming on the show. And then just regular people who found victory through tragedy to triumph. And then I finally figured out God had gave me some power.
Yeah.
That is my ministry.
Yeah.
To reach the people. And man, what a trip it has been. Because if you go to my YouTube page, Blind City Podcast, you will see episode 1. We started out as audio.
Yeah.
Now we're doing video like you, Rob.
Let me just say to the audience here, I want you to hear this and I want you to hear it well. Because you're probably saying, okay, this brother, how can I see this brother? Let's be real clear about how they can get your information. And I am going to be an advocate to say, I strongly urge and suggest that you become aware of blindcitypodcast.com. And how do they reach you via YouTube?
Yeah, just go to Blind City Podcast. That's it. Blind City Podcast, blindcitypodcast.com.
Okay. So now let's stay here. So you have an insight and you've become more familiar with this sex trafficking thing. Talk to us about what happened. How to look out, how to prevent that. So, just give us a bit of a tutorial on that.
All right. So as the podcast was elevating and progressing, now we're making a name for ourselves. Now we're getting local politicians. People want to come on to the show. And then somebody brought to my attention about this small town, Berkeley, Missouri.
Right.
There was over 200 black girls missing. I said, what? Over 200 black girls missing? So I had my assistant start reading stuff off the internet to me. Then I said, you know what? I got to do my own personal investigation. So I called Mike Brown Sr. And he gave me some information.
Mike Brown Sr., the father of
Mike Brown Jr.,
who got murdered there, and at the cop killed.
Absolutely, yes. Big supporter of the show. He's been on there several times.
Okay.
So once he gave me some contacts of some parents who have missing daughters, I reached out to them.
Yeah.
And I was blown away what I heard.
Tell me what you heard.
This is real emotional because this goes on through a lot of towns in our communities dealing with black girls.
Yeah.
They are forced to find their kids themselves, Rob. Police didn't give them much help at all.
Right.
Matter of fact, the police were in disbelief and said they're runaways.
Yeah.
Called black girls runaways. Yeah. Now, if Becky go missing, they bring out the helicopters and the bloodhounds.
Oh, yeah.
Woof.
Front page for days at a time.
Yes.
Right.
So I'm hearing these stories, and then they contacted more parents.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to call the chief of police of Berkeley, Missouri, and ask him to come on to my show.
Yeah.
So it took me several times before he finally called me back.
Okay.
He said, Mr. Cunningham, such, Berkeley chief officer. I said, yeah. I said, I just got a question, sir. He said, okay, shoot at me. I said, how many missing girls are out your community? He said, Mr. Cunningham, those numbers are fabricated. I said, oh, do you want to come on to my show and tell that to the people?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Hung up the phone.
Yeah.
No, I don't, and hung up the phone. This is a chief. Chief of police. Listen, he hung up the phone.
You and the Blind City podcast about to hold people accountable.
Right.
Yeah.
Now watch the miracle God's done. So when that happened, okay, we still independent. I get a phone call from a lady named Cynthia from ABC TV in St. Louis. Mr. Cunningham. I said, yes. Would you like to come on TV? I said, well, I'm on YouTube. Well, we like some of your numbers and words on the streets. People want to hear about more of these stories that you've been presenting to the community. They like what you're doing. So I went down there. We got the deal done. Now I'm on ABC in St. Louis. Now I really got a little power behind me. Now I can really press the issue.
Got a bigger platform.
So what I'm finding out with the missing black girls, to answer your question is, now I use that platform to really do my work in the community. But it's been numerous black women murdered in St. Louis, period. Not just in Berkeley missing, but we have, I think in our city, it's more black women been murdered in St. Louis, Missouri than any other state in America. And we can look those statistics up. And I wanted a coincidence. And guess what it all came back to, right? Broken families. Broken families. Broken families, so they don't want to investigate why the young black girl has ran away. Oh, she went with a boyfriend. She just gone. She be back home. Oh, she just got into it with her mother. She got into it with her father. Here we go. My past is repeating me, right? This is common in our community.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to give my due diligence, my loyalty to try to put this out here to the community and to the world. Because in St. Louis, Missouri, see, we have the Republican regime. I call them the Dixie Boys. You know, they just bullied our prosecutor out of office, Kim Gardner. And they don't want a lot of things coming out of Missouri. Okay? But guess what? I'm not scared of them, Rob.
You gonna speak truth to power.
For my people. For my people. So I got on the phone and contacted Ruth Richardson in Minnesota, a black lady who just got the first black girl human trafficking bill passed in Minnesota House of Representatives. I said, you know what? If you come on my show, I want you to lay the blueprint down. Hopefully other states can follow. She came onto the show. She did her job. So now I'm out campaigning to your show. I need to get on some more shows to talk about these black girls missing out of our communities, to give it the light and the attention so we can get a human trafficking bill passed like Ruth Richardson, because the blueprint is already there. She helped create a task force in Minnesota to help find these black girls. It's 5 black girls murdered a day, Rock, Monday through Sunday. We got over 75,000 young black women missing in the United States.
You know, early on in the Constitution, you know, we talk about how we would characterize as not a whole person, a three-fifths of a person, which was, you know, the definition of not seeing us as fully human. Those kind of statistics and girls being lost and not the effort not being put in to find them. And you hold that up against Becky and the effort and the hysteria that is created when Becky goes missing. But when Rashonda goes missing, there's none
crickets.
That's right, crickets. That's, you know, 3/5 or not a human being really at all, how we're seeing. And it is, brother, it is your work that is shining a light on that. And I'm going to tell you something. I was really, really hopeful that all would work well, that you would be able to get here from St. Louis. Because when I started this show, I said I am apologetically I have an agenda. A lot of people get a show and say, well, I don't have an agenda. I'm just objective. The hell with that. I had an agenda, and part of what I want to do is I want to show the best of the Black experience. And although not yet your name might not be up in national or international light, but part of what you're doing is the best of the Black experience, man. And I want to, from this corner, to please encourage you. And I want to stay in touch with you. And if we need to communicate, I certainly would like with this platform to have some of the kind of subject matters and the impact. And this one here about our missing girls, are there other specific items, issues that you're dealing with, or is that right now your focus?
I think right now that's my focus.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk about a lot of different stuff in the community that we're facing as Black people.
Yeah.
But right now, I feel like God has given me the voice to really get our Black girls
and
found.
you're raising something so critical. You're raising something so critical because you know what? This is not what we hear about every day. This is not where any focus is. And for you to be able to shine that light, man, it's just so very important. And that's one of the reasons why it's very important for me to have you here, because you are shining that light. I want people to be aware of that. But I also wanted people to be aware that you didn't drop out of the sky doing this. You had a journey. You had hurt. You had obstacles to overcome, mountains to climb. You got your ass knocked down multiple ways.
Took it on the chin.
But the measure of a man, Nelson Mandela, I just saw a little clip of him the other day. He said, there's no shame. There's no shame in getting knocked down. The question is, can you get back up? And brother, you've kept getting back up, and I could not be more proud of what you're doing. And I'm absolutely thrilled that I'm able to be honored by your presence here. Thank you for coming for the Rock Newman Show. Give me the handshake here, brother. My man, I love what you're doing. Continue on.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure, you can say one more thing.
To the people, look what's happening to our communities all across America. It's no surprise. To the churches, I need you to come out to church and get into the streets and help these people, okay? Preachers, pass the torch to the younger people to take over your pulpit. You cannot relate to this new generation. Stop holding the church till you're 90 years old. It's hurting our community. Pass the torch to the young. We have to train and teach them. We're not doing that. Pass the torch. And when I make the coalition of the human trafficking, they'll find Becky with helicopters, but Shanika go missing. It's crickets. It's the same thing they doing in the music industry. Taylor Swift, the princess, she's beautiful. The Black woman, you gotta bounce your ass. You gotta bounce your ass to be accepted. You gotta bounce your ass to get that check. Why you can't get promoted like Taylor Swift? That's the question you need to be asking. Why do you keep coming second to Snow White? When are you gonna stand up to be a queen like your ancestors told you were? My name is Langford Cunningham. I had to lose my sight to find my vision to help save God's children.
A good talk show host knows when to shut up. I'm shutting up right now. Thank you for joining us at the Rock Newman Show 2.0 today. And my brother, thank you for blessing us with your presence. God bless you, and I'll see you the next time around.
If you found this content helpful, please share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Blind City, the podcast.